Hello and welcome back to another episode of Power Rangers lore. Today we're going to talk about the White Stranger. Whoosh! Yes, I put that sound effect to remind you that the White Stranger was set in the Wild Wild West. Who is the White Stranger, you may be asking? Well, that's very simple to tell you. The White Stranger is none other than the ancestor of Tommyoliver. Now, the White Stranger is basically a folk hero slash cloaked, mysterious Lone Ranger-like character. Kind of more also a little bit like Zorro as well. Kicks in the teeth of the bad guys and helps out the good guys and the townspeople every time he can. Now, he is from the long family line of the Tommyoliver line, where they are all known heroes. But where did he come from, and what does he have to do with Power Rangers? Well, that's a good question. Well, we first see this White Stranger, quote-unquote, the Tommy of the Wild Wild West, in none other than the Wild Wild West two-part special, Wild West Rangers. Now, Kimberly would fall through a time portal in her locker or hallway. Not really explained why it's there. They just says it happens from time to time. It's a poor explanation, but whatever, we were kids in the 90s, doesn't matter. She falls through, ends up in the Wild Wild West, still dressed in her commoner's clothes, and meets people that look exactly like her friends, except for they're not. They're the ancestors of her friends. Now, they don't have original names. They're basically the same names, just changed slightly to make them seem like Wild Western, such as Abraham is Adam, William is Billy. Wow, big change there. Alicia is Aisha, and Rocco is Rocky. So, yeah, that's very original there. I just have to say that. But the White Stranger is this mysterious figure that they talk about and go, oh, if it wasn't for the White Stranger, I'd be broke or destitute or all of my goods would have been stolen. But it's pretty interesting to say that. Now, what is going on with the White Stranger? Well, we don't know much. I'm just going to tell you right now. He never basically became a ranger. He'd helped them fight off the bad guys that came back in time to come after Kimberly, but that was basically it. Now, there's interesting facts that have to do with him. It is possible that the White Stranger is a descendant of Tommyoliver, who we had done a video on last week, which is Tommy's clone, who was basically, he jumped back in time with the original Tommy to help them break out of the colonial Angel Grove timeline that they were sent to by an evil wizard. Now, basically, the clone, Tommyoliver, stayed back and said he'd help protect the Angel Grove this time period, and continue on from there. Now, as far as we know, he lived out his entire timeline in that past and created his own family. Now, that's where kind of the entire family line is descended from, and it would be the fault of Rita entirely for creating considerably the best and most known ranger of all time that caused her the most headaches. Now, if you look on his little hat there, you can see a green stripe on there. And that might indicate, basically, it might just be a reference to him possibly going to later be the Green Ranger. Or it could be basically talking about Tommyoliver. Basically, he's taking up the mantle of his great-grandfather or his grandfather, because it's a 100-year period between the two characters. Now, if you think about it, he is still following the same line. He's not revealing his identity. He's kind of sticking to the side. He jumps in to save the good people when he can, just like his ancestor, if it is true, Tommyoliver. Now, why he doesn't have the power coin? Probably just didn't want it to fall in the wrong hands. Didn't know what to do with it. Probably just hit it with his death, or was buried with him. That's why we don't see another timeline, or it's just handed down and it was just forgot what it does. Now, could it be that it's just basically a historical foreshadowing of Tommy's eventual become a Green Ranger, or is it basically talking about he's taking up his grandfather's line as the Green Ranger and the Great Protector of Angel Grove? Now, you would see another picture of the White Stranger in Dino Thunder episode Bully for Ethan. It's just basically the fact, it just shows him like, hey, look, it's Billy took a picture with, hey, look at that. Billy took a picture with the White Stranger. Oh, who's that? Oh, that's my ancestor. Or it could have been just something from his family line in particular. We don't know. Now, he has his own theme song just like any other Ranger, but it's very similar to the Lone Ranger theme song. So, keep that in mind. And the White Stranger comes on none other from White Stranger, being a reference to Whiteranger. Yeah, if you guys didn't know that, I'm just going to shake my head several times. Now, it's going to let you know there. Now, what did he do the entire episode? Well, he didn't do much. He kind of just saved Kimberly a few times, as well as a bunch of people, and they basically know him. He showed up at the end to basically save her right off on a horse from Goldar and help fight off the bad guys, but that was basically it. Why is he a major character? Well, he has a deep connection to Tommyoliver and Tom Oliver. Are they connected? That's a good question. That's up to you guys to figure out, because there's not going to be a really major theory for that. Well, this is a theory, but it cannot be proven to law until they say otherwise. Thank you very much, guys. That is the end of this episode for this today. Have a good one, and may the power protect you always. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe at the end of this video. All your likes help me out, and all your watchers do too. Thank you very much, guys. I would really like to discuss with you guys what your topics are. May the power protect you always.